Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at the Survival Overhaul. Now this is a massive update. It's come with loads of features. If you've played the public test, there is only one new block added that you have yet to see. It's very exciting, and I know a lot of us have been waiting for it for a long time. So I'm going to have a look at that, and we're going to talk about the rest of the update. So if we proceed into my little survival bunker, the first thing that you'll notice is if you survive or spawn in a survival world, you'll enter in one few ships. You can have between a rover or this tiny little drop pod. And these drop pods or rovers or whatever you choose to spawn in with are equipped with the survival kit. So you can see I can access the survival kit on the back, and as I explained in the previous video, it's as simple as throwing stone in there. It generates random components and you can start building. The only... hang on. What's that? What's that over there? What's that red thing? Hold on, the assembler, the micro refiner are going to have to wait. It feels like there's a god ray coming down from the ceiling. Like there should be some dramatic music playing. Is that a ladder? Yes, it is. This is the new block that I have to say we've been waiting for so long. It was originally in the game at early stages. They had so many problems with it, and I'll show you this. Oh, damn it, I'm stuck on it. Let's place some ladders, and we'll explain how this guy works. So we'll, of course, climb up into the light, like you'd expect me to do. So let's grab onto the ladder. So as we connect the ladders together, they actually connect each other up like so. So you can see the animation is very, very smooth with them. As we climb up to the top, we have to hit spacebar, and it launches slightly backwards and off the ladder. It's going to be interesting to see how players actually use these, because all my fuels and my systems are critical. But you can see we can move up and down the ladder. There's no option for sliding up and down the ladders, but these are going to be making survival on Earth, especially when you're out of hydrogen, very useful, because in previous situations you couldn't get between a block. But if you now continue, say I'm out of hydrogen down here, for instance, we're stuck. We're not going to be able to jump up unless someone passes a bottle down. Now, if we've got enough resources to build a ladder on us, that in my opinion, I feel like the ladders are still a little bit too complicated. I think they should be a little bit basic with the construction components, and maybe just consist of a little bit of steel and whatnot, so that you can build them in case of emergency, so you can climb out of a place. You can see the animation there as we get to the top. It just nicely steps us on top of the platform, so you do need to take that in consideration and how you're going to use them. If you have a ladder, for instance, let's just make this a little bit more difficult. So we take that out and we attempt to climb the ladder in this segment. It'll still climb us on top and over and just leave us on top of the lip of the actual ledge. So it's still pretty damn cool, and it seems to work in a variety of situations that I really like. Anyway, we've got sidetracked by that mystical ladder over there. There's more ladders we'll have a look at outside. So we're trying to focus the main points here. We're looking at the blocks. These are the things that are going to interest us. So of course we've got the basic assembler. I've explained all this before. These take in gravel or take in other resources, and they're limited in what they can actually produce. They can't produce the amount of items that the larger assemblers can. The refinery, of course, again, can't refine as well as the larger refinery. They're adding stages to the beginning of survival. That is a good thing. It really does make it difficult now to start, and why it makes it difficult is pretty much this. It's power. It's about how you're going to generate power for your base, and the larger systems require more power. It's interesting. To be honest, they've made it a lot more in-depth and detailed, and because of that, the early stages of survival are very exciting and can cause some serious problems if you don't plan them out well. So we've got the two hydrogen engines here. You've seen the model for them before with the really cool pistons, and they're running off ice. So the ice is then turned into hydrogen. The hydrogen then flows through these. These are very inefficient. They're good at an early sort of game stage because we don't have uranium. We don't have that master sort of power source. There's no point of me building a reactor because I can't actually get the materials together to build it or power the damn thing. So we've popped outside and we are climbing pretty much a massive array of wind turbines. So you can see we've climbed ourselves all the way up to the top. Now there's a few things to consider when we're actually using these wind turbines. The main one is their altitude will sort of determine how much power they produce. You can see the higher ones are spinning much faster than the lower ones. And for instance, if we do this, we just pop ourselves off the ladder for the moment, and we delete a selection of these. So let's delete all them, for instance, And let's delete all the other two sides. And what we're going to be doing here is just testing the difference in power between the top and bottom. So there's the one near ground level. Let's pop that off. And we come down here to this control pad. We'll have 2. And if we go to our wind. So we've got wind turbine 10 and wind turbine 16. So you can see the difference. We've got optimal 400 kilowatts, and it's not too far off the ground, where we've got the one near the ground that's 225. So in basic terms, you need to put these guys higher up to produce maximum amounts of power. Now, what got me quite interested in these is how much resources they actually need and how simple they are actually to build. They're very simple. They don't need too much, and in my opinion, they're far better than solar panels, for the reason that there will be a night, and when it becomes night, solar panels become useless, where the wind turbines are far better. And the more interesting factor about this is if we actually have a look at the solar panels, you can see they require much more components. They require the solar cells and the bulletproof glass, and the computers, as well as these guys require the computers, but we've not got any solar cells. So in my opinion, they're a lot easier to build. That solar cell, or building that, can take up a few more resources than we need. So wind power all the damn way. So once we've got the power situation sorted for our outpost, then it's all about developing our other survival systems. But kind of implemented something else. So if I just come out of creative mode, you'll notice that we have limited blueprints available to us. So I've only got limited blocks, and to unlock other blocks, I then have to build a block to progress to it. So it is quite interesting, but at the same time, it can get a little bit confusing. So you see the progression here. So this separate tab that drops down will guide me through the progression areas. If, for instance, I build the basic assembler, I can then build the interior turret and so on and so on. Then to build the projector and all these blocks, I then need to build the interior light. It's a basic sort of progression tree, but the only issue I've noticed with it is you will end up building things that you don't necessarily need, or sometimes you need things straight away. So the good points is you can build an interior turret straight away to actually protect yourself, because one of the biggest issues that I thought would happen is you won't be able to unlock any weapons to defend yourself straight away, and you'd have some problems right off the start. But you can get that interior turret up, you've got some limited ideas of defense, and if you want to get fancier with the blocks, then you're going to have to build your interior walls. And what I recommend doing is just build a pad at the start building and getting your resources to survive, and just create as many of these blocks as possible and unlock the further progression tree items. Very simple indeed. Another little tip that I'll give you when you start, if you decide to use one of these little pods, what you can do is just cut a hole below it, build yourself a platform underground, and then start constructing underground around it. And as you are digging out the outpost to build things like I've done here, just dump it back in. The stone and rock will then be used to construct the basic assembler and basic refinery, and then from there you can get your solar power up on the surface and you're pretty much good to go. The hardest start that I've actually witnessed is the moon. There's a lot of factors you need to take into consideration there, especially because you have no wind power at all. You have to rely on solar, and you have to rely on battery power as well, and it's really difficult. So that was my quick look at the update today. Like I said, a lot of the features I've already talked about in the previous sort of public test video, but I thought it'd be quite interesting just to go over it again. Anyway, them daddum ladders, can't wait to see them everywhere.